Dear friends of Tuk Tuk racing worldwide, we are back today for a secret Tuk Tuk race happening in one night in Bangkok. Bangkok is a very special place for Tuk Tuk heroes because the best Tuk Tuk heroes in the world have established a whole network in the city. We have Ari with us, who knows a little bit about Bangkok and Tuk Tuks there. I bring my Central American expertise to this. While we have Mikael from Norway, knowing how to drive canyons and possibly also street canyons. And while David is from Texas, so all our prejudices tell us that he knows about pipelines, oil pipelines, and what else are city networks other than pipelines where the blood of a city is pumping through it, the life veins. This is where we are today, racing through Bangkok. We have famous Tuk Tuk drivers today with us, and I would like that you each introduce your Tuk Tuk driver, and I will share our racing template for you so we can have a look who is with us today. I introduce my Tuk Tuk hero first because I'm a total neutral arbiter here, but still I'm also a Tuk Tuk driver. I will not cheat, I promise. I am Dagobert, a trans-cosmic tourist. I have come from a different galaxy, and I'm here today on Earth to see what this famous Tuk Tuk racing is all about. And I know how tourists should behave. They should be careful because of the sun. And they should also be careful because of pocket thieves. And the Lonely Planet has taught me the best locations to visit. And I hope that our race will guide us through these fantastic locations I've seen in Bangkok today. David, can you tell us about Iceman?
Yeah, so I'm playing Iceman, who is a famous Tuk Tuk driver, most famous for using an instant freeze aerosol spray against opponents to create sudden slicks of ice and whatnot.
Cool. Then, Ari, can you tell us about Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo, that's his call sign. He's famous for riding a motorbike and lifting his leg up in perfect time to avoid being stung by a poisonous snake on the road. That ended up being a viral video that he's well known for.
Wow, that's a story you could tell in decades. So we also have Matt J with us. Mikael, who's Matt J?
Yes, I don't know how Matt J ended up in this company, but Matt J works as a Tuk Tuk mechanic by day, and then is very famous for crashing in every race he participates in at night, very spectacularly. So, but he loves Tuk Tuks. So, yeah.
We all love Tuk Tuks, especially our own Tuk Tuk. Our Tuk Tuk is like an animal, like something alive we ride. And we all have our own way to communicate with our Tuk Tuk and prepare for a race. The first thing we need to do in a Tuk Tuk race is we need to see how each of us prepare. Like how do we prepare that day? Can we see in a flashback what has happened which brought us into Tuk Tuk racing? Can we see the moment when we are stepping up in the morning and getting in our Tuk Tuk, or how we care is it to prepare the Tuk Tuk and not ourselves only for the race? So I will tell you with Dagobert what Dagobert has done. Dagobert came with a school bus through the universe, and there's a famous school kids book around this, the Magic School Bus. And with his school bus, he entered the atmosphere, saw the ISS, and knew that humans seem to be the ruling race. What he didn't expect was that actually these are rats. Rats are ruling this planet, but it seemed that tuk-tuks are the perfect crossbreeding between rats and and humans. Rats and humans combined are tuk-tuks, he felt. So Dagobert prepared his tuk-tuk by mutating a rat and making it have wheels, but it still has its black fur. He has a black tuk-tuk and is sitting in his black tuk-tuk preparing to win this race. I now need to roll 2d6. And since we all are traumatized by too many PBTA games, it's the same resolution mechanic. So 10 plus is very good, 7 to 9 is a minor result, and 6 minus is a miss. I get a box cups, as always. I prepare perfectly for this race because this rat has connected to all the rats in Bangkok, and they are all on my side. And whenever I need them, they will crawl out of my tuk-tuk and attack my opponents if necessary with ugly diseases, spreading germs, I will tell you. This is Dagobert preparing for his race. Because I have a full success on our template, I start with 2 flow. Flow is the currency we try to accumulate in the race because when the finishing line comes closer, we need to have as much flow as possible to make it first of the finishing line and win this race. David, how do you prepare for the race?
So I just flew in, and you know, tuk-tuks are kind of an adorable sort of automobile. In fact, they're so small I can manage to check one. So I go to checked luggage, and my tuk-tuk comes spitting out of the little carousel, and I collect it, take it out to the street, set it up, and I begin driving around looking for my freeze spray. Because it's an aerosol, I can't bring it on the plane, so I have to try and find some locally.
Let's see how that goes.
Okay, I got 9.
It's a partial success. Something minor gets wrong, but you still make it. You get 1 flow, and tell us how it goes, how you arrive at the starting line.
Okay. I think that I managed to get some of my freeze spray, but I get a flat on the way to the race, and I'm going to be late, so I have to change the flat while I'm driving, and that's really tricky. And now I'm on a spare, so it's not ideal, but you know, we'll make it work.
I hope so, or don't I? I don't know. Ari, how does Rambo prepare?
Rambo is a resident. His real name is Meng. He comes from North Thailand. He took a overnight train from North Thailand to reach Bangkok, where he normally works actually as a tuk-tuk driver. So he's protecting the reputation of all tuk-tuk drivers in Bangkok right now with this race. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but he has some decorations on the tuk-tuk. So he has he hangs up some garlands, which are these like orange flowers that are for good luck. He's a big fan of Game of Thrones, so he has this dragon claw with a cup on the dash, and the stickers he has are strawberry, which is grown in North Thailand, and his daughter gave him a sticker of Hello Kitty. So he's got a Hello Kitty sticker up in front of his tuk-tuk. So he's regarding this with pride and getting his engine started. And I'm going to go ahead and roll. 6 and 2.
It's a partial success. You start with 1 flow. Something got wrong, but all in all, you're fine.
Yeah, I think there's a little gas leak. So he's going to have to be really careful and watch the gas meter. And hopefully that's not going to be a problem.
Let's hope so. Let's hope there's no problem.
Yeah, hopefully.
Mika, how does your driver start into the race?
Well, during daytime, Jay works as a tuk-tuk mechanic. So, and he crashed his tuk-tuk in his last race. So he's looking for to see if there's any candidates in the shop. And I think he sees like one of these that have only has one of these that have you attach to like a moped or something like that. It's not like a full tuk-tuk. It's just like a wagon. And he's like, oh, and he sees like, oh, wow, there's like a motorcycle here. I'm not sure if it's fixed or not, but I'm gonna attach it. So that's what Jay's doing, very excitedly. And I roll 6, so I fail. Oh no.
Oh no, oh no. Something goes terribly wrong. You start with 0 flow. You are not allowed to move your tuk-tuk forward on our racing template. And what goes wrong?
Yeah, I think it is not fixed. There is also, I think there's some parts that aren't changed yet. So he has to like look for parts in the shop frantically. Also getting late to the start.
I'm so sorry to hear, but maybe that's also an advantage because we now look at the map of Bangkok. We are ready to start the race. I will introduce our first obstacle. And our first obstacle is picked by going on Google Street View and dropping randomly somewhere in to see where the race starts. So the starting line is my honor to bring up to you. So what do we see? I drop here. What will we see? For sure, we see a temple and a parking lot. That's the perfect place to start a race. You see our tuk-tuks arriving there at the corner. There are no cars here at the moment. They are all cleaned up. The owners don't know where they were brought. And there are like an audience of 5,000 people everywhere in this buildings, cheering and staring at us and seeing how we are doing at the starting line. Everybody wants to see us racing here. People climbed over on these electric connections here, and they broke down. There's no electricity left anymore. Suddenly, everything turns dark because it's in the middle of the night. Just the statue is glowing. This is a miracle. And the statue's arm is slowly going down from top to down, and that is the moment when we should start racing. So out it goes onto the street, and it's chaos because everywhere there are people and we don't want to hurt anybody, don't we? So everybody needs to pick 1d6, only 1d6, to see how well it goes for them. But I, as the one who introduced the obstacle, can claim that one person, not myself, has an advantage here, and one person has a disadvantage here. One is championed, one is troubled. And I'd say, because you're late, that makes it easy for me as a decision. Matt J, you are the one who is championed here. You roll +1. While I think Rambo has a certain reputation, not dodging snakes, but not people on the road. So you roll with disadvantage. You get a -1 on your roll. One more thing, I'm alone in the lead. I have 2 flow, as you can see on our table. By the way, Ari, your Rambo, I think, has 1 flow. You have to move your tuk-tuk one forward on this table. So I am in the lead alone. I roll with -2. So whatever I roll, I need to subtract 2. Are you all ready to roll your die? Then you can type it into the chat window here, so we can also see that, and I guide you through the resolution. So there we go. I have a 3 -2. I only have a 1. Bad for me, very bad for me. So we see pretty good results for everybody here, except for me. I would say that I would like to hear from Rambo Why does it go so well, although you were troubled actually in this situation? How do you make it through the crowd?
Rambo speaks Thai, and so he calls out to the locals that he may even recognize some of them because this is not his first race, and they help him to clear out some people immediately, and that gets him that space to get to move forward, and he does. He pulls through that gap, leaving you guys a little bit behind him.
Wow. Okay. For me, it goes really, really bad. For me, it goes really, really bad because I run into a chicken transporter and all the chicken can come out immediately, which attracts my rats again. And there is a big fight between rats and chicken on the street, and feathers are everywhere. So it's just a dust cloud of feathers on the road while it's honking through the crowd. I can't make anything else anymore. Everybody who rolled 4 or more gets 1 flow. So you move your Tuk Tuk 1 forward. I can show that again to you on the shared screen if you want. And everybody who rolled 2 or 3 stays the same in terms of flow, and who rolled 1 or less loses 1 flow. That means I need to move my Tuk Tuk backwards. And what we see now, after the starting line, that Iceman and Rambo are clearly already ahead. Mad J has picked up, and Dagobert had fallen behind. Now, Iceman, David, can you tell us what our next obstacle is? And I try to, as quickly as I can, switch to the link you shared. That is.
Okay, I just shared the link.
Thank you. I move in there.
So let's see. Do I need to screen share? Suppose I should.
I do the screen share. I do.
Okay.
No worries, yeah. It's just still loading. There we go. Oh, what do we see?
So I think we're not the only ones with big plans for the night. There's another group of moped and small 2-wheeled bikes that are organizing to have a race, and a pop-up market has manifested as a part of that, where aspiring merchants are wanting to get in on the action and make as much as they can. So there's another race organizing, and it's at cross purposes with our race. We're not all on the same track, and we're having to cut through this pop-up market.
Oh no. Who is championed in this situation? So gets a +1, and who is troubled?
Okay. You know, I think that Mad J is championed here because, like, this is right in the middle of and thick of things where he's famous for getting into crashes, but that means that he's also famous for dodging and having lots and lots of near misses, and this is a near miss opportunity if I've ever seen one.
So nobody is in the lead alone, so nobody gets the -2 penalty. So we all roll, and the champion player gets +1 on the roll, and the troubled -1.
Yeah, and I think Rambo is the troubled one here because there is a merchant that is looking to sell snakes, and it's right in his path.
Oh boy.
Right. Ooh. Oh no, what do we see? It really doesn't go well for Rambo. No.
No, not at all.
But actually, it's not going well for anybody here. But at least for some of us, it seems that it's a snake eyes, so to say. Yes. Yeah. That means that I would like to see that Rambo. Can you tell us what happened here to you?
Yeah, someone brought these snakes to buoy up or to play off of Rambo's reputation. It's a group of young kids, and they're holding the snakes, and maybe their family, has them as pets. But they brought them because they've heard of my reputation, and they're really not threatening, but because he wants to make sure that this is he might make another YouTube video, he slows down and takes a couple of photo ops with the snakes, and that causes him to lose time. And by the time he gets back on the road to catch up, everyone's pulled ahead of him.
And it goes a little bit better for Iceman. How do you do?
I think it goes well for me here because as I'm weaving through this crowd and dodging the motorcyclists, I see there is another merchant that is selling more of my spray cans of ice that I so desperately need, and I quickly throw money and grab as many cans as I can and resupply.
Ooh, okay, so we have a new leader. That is Iceman. Yes, Iceman already has 3 flow, and I see that Rambo has fallen behind, and Dagobert is just not catching up. But Matt J, you're doing well, as it seems. Matt J, Mikael, do you want to introduce our next obstacle for us?
Yes, let's see. I mean, everywhere where you drop it here, it's a temple or something.
Yeah, somehow that's like in Miami, it was always a yacht. Yeah, so in here we always have temples. Let's see what we have here. It's loading for me, but I'm curious what will come up. Yes, it's a temple. It's a temple. What is our obstacle?
Well, the guards are not very pleased that we're driving into the temple, I imagine. So I imagine they are like running after us, trying to stop us getting in there. Also, there's a small door, so
Too small, maybe.
yes.
Or 2 Tuk Tuks next to each other. So who's championed and why? And who's troubled?
I think Rambo, with the boost of his snake selfies, is boosted. Confidence glowing, and I think maybe Iceman is not feeling so hot. With the or being not so familiar with Thai law enforcement, he's heard very bad things. A little nervous.
Oh, that's really bad for Iceman because Iceman is in the lead, -3 exactly, and +1 for Rambo. Let's pick the dice. Oh, I finally get a good number. Wow, what a perfect result. So, Iceman, that is not going well. You were so nicely in the lead. Maybe that was the problem. What happened?
I'm trying to push my little Tuk Tuk through this opening, and the Thai policeman like body checks it like as I'm going slowly up the little stairs there, and all of my cans of ice, of instant freeze ice, just topple out and shatter against the wall, and like freeze me for a moment to the spot, and I have to get out and chip away the ice and yell at the policeman, who's not happy about that, and I think he tries to arrest me, but I managed to chip free just barely and continue the race.
That is my opportunity. I get out of my tuk-tuk. I have all the time because I will win this race anyway. I take a couple of pictures because this is just the perfect moment for my photo album for my friendly aliens out of space. And I take a couple of pictures, and while the pictures are taken, I fall behind, and behind everybody else has already left. But then I see my opportunity. There's one piece of ice, and it's gliding through this temple, and I pick it up. I take my tuk-tuk, I ride onto the roof with this piece of ice. I take it like a surfboard, and then I glide through the town, over the temple roofs, and pass by nearly everybody. I rolled a 4, which means I gain 1 flow. Let's see what the next obstacle is after we have seen who is now in the lead and how our table now stands. We see, I haven't moved my tuk-tuk yet. Have you already moved your tuk-tuks? I think so, yes. It's amazing. We are all on the same position. We all have 2 flow, it seems. That means we will see our last obstacle, right? So, if I'm not mistaken, Ari, you can tell us how it looks like before we will get closer to the finishing line.
Okay, so I'm dropping the pin now, right?
You're dropping the pin and give us a Google Street View. Yes.
All right, here it is. I didn't cheat. I mean, I know most of the city, but I just like close my eyes and randomly drop this.
Okay. Let's see, I'm curious. And after we've seen our last obstacle, we will then be at the finishing line. So is this loading? It's still loading, it's still loading. But that's not yet a street view. I have to go into this place. Okay, right here. Let's see where we go. What is it? What do we see?
Yeah, it looks like a business district. Multi-lane roads on both sides, and a sort of like a, I don't know what they're called in English, but they have these arches that have the king on it. You see that on the backside view. And then there's a restaurant and a couple of office buildings.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, there you go. And plenty of taxis and a couple of motorbikes pulling along. So we probably have to navigate between these vehicles and to get where we want to go.
Actually, racing action. Who is champion in such a situation? Who is troubled?
I think David really got a lot of trouble with the ice. Losing that ice was demoralizing, and he might be trying to slow down to maybe like try to pick up some. And I think Michael is taking the lead on this one.
Right.
I don't know what's motivating him, but maybe he's digging deep into his reserves. He wants to win.
Not gonna crash this time. Not gonna crash.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, then let's pick the dice. Ooh, nobody gets a -2 penalty, but we have 1 champion and 1 troubled, and I just have a 1. Wow,
Yep,
Mad
I got
J.
a 2.
Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Mixed results. But first of all, we see Mad J having huge success and going hugely forward on this. What do we see?
Yeah, I think you see like for the first time this race, there's actually an advantage having like a motorbike in front. We've been driving through all these like close quarters and temples and all that stuff. It's just been a nuisance, but now it's just like you hear like the roar of the motorbike and you hear like Magic screaming like finish line, here I come.
Scream
I like
in
your
the night.
confidence.
A scream in the night. And then we see Dagobert. Dagobert is not doing well. Space doesn't have so much traffic, I have to tell you. This is not what I expected. Whoa! Another motorbike, another tuk-tuk. No, no, too much, wrong direction, on the wrong side of the road. Oh, there's this bridge from the king. Oh, what a nice, I need to take a picture. Too late. Oh no, where are the others? I'm getting too late to the finishing line. I need to speed up. And he's falling behind. All right. Update your flow if you lost one or gained one. It seems that everybody is stable except for Mad J is now in the lead, right? Mad J should be on 3 now, I think. And Dagobert is only on 1 flow. And this is our final situation before we cross the finishing line. The finishing line has separate rules. We have seen exciting obstacles on this race, but now it comes the moment in time where you need to speed up. This is not about getting over something. This is about being first. You want to be the fastest. You want to be over the finishing line first. But there's one problem with going fast. Going fast is dangerous. You might crash if you go too fast. So we need 2d6 again. You will roll 2d6 and add your flow to roll over your speed. But what is your speed? Well, that's your decision. You decide how fast you think you could go on this. If you don't roll over your speed, you crash. 2d6 plus flow, roll over your speed, and you are over the finishing line. But who has the highest speed wins the race. So let's say I, for example, put 8 as my speed. Then I need to roll 2d6 plus 1 and top 8. 8 equal 8 or higher than 8. Then I made it. But I haven't won the race if somebody else had a higher speed and made it over the finishing line. Does that make sense for everybody? Good. Okay, so everybody can still win. Just Mad J has a certain advantage that he can add 3 to his roll to make it.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Exactly. So we race, and as fast as we can, but not too fast. You see these little dashes there at the end of your row? This is where you put the number in, like this, for example. This is just an example. This isn't my speed yet. So when everybody is ready, then you can type your number in there. If it's something higher than 9, then type your numbers fast. I don't think that anybody wants to go with speed 1 only.
How do we know what our flow is right now?
That's the number where your tuk-tuk is. So your Rambo is at flow 2. Yeah. So we count from 3 to 1, go, and then we enter our number. All right, everybody is ready? Everybody has an idea about how fast they want to go? Good. Okay. So we say 3, 2, 1, go. Rambo, what is your speed?
I dropped it in the chat.
Okay. That is good. Yeah. No worries. That counts as well. Wow. Mad J. can win this race if he rolls 12 or more with 2d6 plus 3. Otherwise, you crash. Can you give us your roll and tell us if you won the race?
Very exciting. I totally did not. I rolled 11.
No! So close. So do you want to give us the fiction how you nearly made it, but then something horrible might have happened?
Oh yeah, I think I imagine it like being the finish line being like at the other side of like a crossing of streets, and there's like a late, like it's an orange light in the, and Maggie is like, no, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it, and then just like at the end of the crossing, there's like a car that hits him or something like that, and you just hear like, no.
No. Oh, we can see if Iceman or Dagobert make it over the finishing line and win our race. Iceman, can you go first because you have a higher flow? In that case, you would win. If you both go over the finishing line, the higher flow counts.
I got a 13. Sweet. Garrett, are you muted if you're trying to say anything?
Oh, I'm just waiting for you telling us how you make it over.
How do I win? How do I get across the finish line?
Yes. Just, it's your race. You won it.
I finally get to an open stretch, and I just open up the engine, and that little engine starts just cranking, and it's redlining hard, and I can tell it's going to need some maintenance after this. It's going well faster than I expected that it could, and I start to spray it with the one can of liquid ice that I still have. That's helping cool down the engine and helping it get as faster than I ever thought that it could be, and it gets across the finish line.
Congratulations, you won your first Tuk Tuk race. But for Rambo and Dagobert, it's not over yet. We are here to make points in the Eternal Tuk Tuk Racing League. I have an official table where I put every result of every race in there with the name of the players plus the characters, and you can see how far up in this league you can make it. So Rambo, you were careful to make at least some points here, it seems, but will you still make it, or were you too slow?
Yeah, do I roll or would you?
Yes,
Like,
you roll
okay.
2d6 plus 2, and you need to roll 8 or higher.
10. I got so that's what, 12.
Congratulations, you make it over the finishing line. Tell us how Rambo does it.
Just barely. His gas meter, the reason he's so careful is at the end here, I wasn't able to pull ahead as he was really being careful about how much gas he's using. So he's like, being very conservative. Crowd is cheering for him. Some of his relatives are there holding up little banners, and like when he gets across, doesn't win, but he's still a hero locally. They're very happy for him.
Yeah. Well, it's like you were there, you represented everybody. They should be happy. They should also be happy that tourists are in town because they bring currency with them, they make business deals, expats, as they are called in these regions of the world. So I roll for our cosmic visitor to see if he, Dagobert, makes it over the finishing line. And I roll a 9 plus 1, a 10. Barely, but I make it. So I am on place number 2. I also get some points, which is fine. And I can take some pictures, especially of this fantastic, nice little crash of Mad J, who always crashes. And of this dear little local guy, Rambo, there, like with his cute little tuk-tuk. And yeah, and then I turn around and shake hands with the winner. Congratulations. What a fantastic race. Iceman, one day I visit you in your home galaxy. Good to have a race. Thank you all for playing another Tuk Tuk tournament. However, stay with me for a moment because the game might be over. Thank you for playing. But there's one little thing I usually like to do at the very end. And that is, I have a little poem, which I would like you to read with me in the language which is closest to you. The language which is special to you or which you especially like, maybe your mother tongue, maybe a language you learned. I just need to find this little poem. It takes me a moment. But I'm pretty sure I have it in a second. The Tuk Tuk tournament table has it and not the template and not yet the rules. So bear with me for a second before I can send it to you into the chat. I can also already tell you the little poem, but first of all, I need to get out of character because this is not me. So here I am. That is Garrett again. And the cheat is still loading. But I tell you, in German, das Leben ist kein Wettrennen. Jeder Atemzug ist eine Gelegenheit, innezuhalten. Finde Momente der Ruhe. Wir alle werden es über die Ziellinie schaffen. Now you find the poem in chat. And let's start with our winner, David. Can you tell us this poem?
Life is not a race. Every breath is an opportunity to slow down. Find moments of stillness. We will all make it to the finishing line.
Thank you. Mikael.
Well, translating good. I'm gonna do it in Norwegian then. Livet er ikke et løp. Hver pust er en mulighet for å senke farten. Finn øyeblikk av stillhet. Vi vil alle komme over sluttlinjen.
Thank you very much. Ari.
Yeah, life is not a race. Every breath is an opportunity to slow down. Find moments of stillness. We will all make it to the finishing line.
Thank you very much. Thank you all for playing Tuk Fast, Tuk Furious, Tuk Tuk race in Bangkok. Thanks for inviting us to your city, Ari. And I stop the recording here.